the night. I'll make it worth your while. We won't hide in the crowd. Just stay with me and I'll make it worth your while. While, while. Make it worth your while. While, while. In sunlight or in the night, I'll make it worth your while. We won't hide in the crowd. Just stay with me and I'll make it worth your while. While, while. Make it worth your while. While, while. And make it worth your while. While, while. Make it worth your while. While, while. And make it worth your while.
All right, you guys. I'm just like preparing us all because I don't think I made my video smaller, so it's gonna be a whole lot of face as soon as I switch over. I keep forgetting this one thing. But is it here? Is it here? Oh wait, no, we're good. Are we good? Sorry for the struggle. We're gonna struggle for like 2 seconds. But welcome back to the channel, you guys. Let me launch Second Life. Just a little struggle. Okay, no face. We're a little safe. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here ever, welcome for the first time. Let me get my life. Let me get my life. All right, we're struggling. We're struggling. But anyway, if you're here, say hi in chat. 1 second. I'm gonna have it together in like 2 seconds. See, I tried this. This would be my first Second Life 101 on camera, but I can't figure it out. Oh, there it is. Look, we're trying to get my mic, y'all. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Let me move it. All right, let's try that again. Can we start over? I would cut this out, but we're live. But hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your first time here ever. Sorry for the hiccup, but welcome for the first time. We are doing. Look at me. Second Life 101 tonight, and this series is kind of catered toward new residents, but I feel like I'm always learning something. I'm always taking a lot of your expertise and putting it towards what I'm doing. So tonight I've been super excited to do this one. So we're gonna do all things Second Life. So literally from the beginning. Echo. I said a whole lot of words too. Can we start this whole day over? Woo! I'm gonna let y'all get the echoes out. We tried. So again, tonight, I'm super excited to do this video because I wanted to dive into everything from like beginning to the end when it comes to starting Second Life. Group gifts. I was just talking to some people on Discord about I don't trust gifts. Let's get it together. I've got my depth filled up super high. But hey, you guys. All right, now everyone, if you are here, this is a takeover, or we're doing it over. Take 2. If you're here in chat, say hi. This is what happens because I just like stream, chatted, and Discord, and like I wasn't ready. Look at Mila's boobs weren't ready either. Why are they broken? I cannot. I'm gonna make Milo smaller. What is this here? Why is that here? A Mila painting. Let's fix her boobs real quick. The earrings are from the ears. They came with the ears. The ears are from Swallow. All right. So tonight we're going through the whole process. So I am going to take it from the beginning to the end, and I'm hoping a lot of you can share your expertise as well. But we're basically going to go how to create a Second Life account, what you need to know about the different types of accounts. I'm going to do a little review of the terms of service because I felt like after our last conversation on stream, a lot of us admitted we have never read those things. So I want to talk a little about that, talk a little about privacy, then of course, avatar customization, getting your avatar together. I have a million videos on that, so I'm not going to spend as much time on it as possible, but I also want to talk about like things that Second Life users say and all of that. But hey, Rare, hey, Remy, Momo, Fashionful Life, Cynical, Bundles, Michaela, is there Elijah, Dime, Amaya, Bethany, Moneyman, Sweetie, Kiki, Adriana, Chanel. All right, Amaya, Brian Mena. I didn't go all the way back up. Don't attack me. Ooh, I'm hot. I should have had my air on like while I was streaming in Discord, but you know, I don't learn. All right, so the first thing I want to start off with, wait, let me get my list. Did I close it? Ooh, it's hot. Honey. Hey, Blair. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is one, accounts. So how do you create an account? You go to secondlife.com and there's a button to create an account. There are two different types of accounts that you can have in Second Life. You can have just a general free account. Just because it's free doesn't mean you're not going to spend money though, because you're going to spend some money, honey, if you so choose. But also they have premium accounts. And I always get this question because I have a premium account, but I did not have a premium account for at least like 5 years into Second Life. Like this is kind of recent for me, just the past couple of years. But with premium accounts, you know what, let's just pull it up. We're going to look to see what the offer is with premium accounts. Because for me, I see pros and cons for both of it. If you're brand new, I don't see any benefit other than you do get a house. But I'm going to show y'all how to find your own house too. All right, let's see. Will this bring up Chrome? No, it's going to bring up my chat. I struggle. Anyway, if you go to secondlife.com, though, sign up. That's how you start your account. And basically, what? Who don't know me? Oh. But yeah, basically premium accounts, you get more group space. So also something you may not need as a brand new user. You get a house, you get a 300 Linden stipend each week. You get premium chat services. What I found with that though, is usually if I have to contact Linden Labs, it tends to be something that the chat people can't help with. So I end up submitting a ticket anyway. So I honestly recommend, if you're just joining Second Life for the first time, go in for free and just feel your way around, learn some things first before you decide to make any type of financial investment. I feel like that's with everything though. Y'all know how it is. But after you do that and you create an account, Second Life is going to prompt you to download a viewer. And a viewer is basically what you use to access Second Life. So there are a bunch of different viewers, which I didn't even discover until like years into Second Life. But you have the Second Life viewer, which they're going to give you a download link for. But my second favorite is called Firestorm. So if you go to firestormviewer.org, you have options for another viewer that has a lot more features than the Second Life viewer, honestly. And also, if you are like a gaming type of person and you're very used to like game mechanics and like, you have a decent graphics card and graphics are important to you, I recommend Black Dragon. That's the viewer I'm on. I'm probably going to hop between Black Dragon and Firestorm a bit in this video, so you guys can see both viewers. I'm not going to show the Second Life viewer. I don't even have it downloaded. For me, on my computer, it doesn't perform very well. Like, I get very laggy, so I use Firestorm or Black Dragon. I'll warn them bundles. I'm done of fornications. But yeah, a viewer, so that's what you use to access Second Life. Your account by itself isn't anything. You also need a viewer, and that's something to download onto your computer. So just make sure you have the right computer specs. I don't know anything about computers, so don't come and ask me like if a certain computer will work. Honestly, like go to secondlife.com/support/system-requirements. That'll tell you the basic requirements you need in a computer to actually use Second Life and not lag like crazy. Because we'll talk about lag, and that's basically just like your computer is not liking what's going on with your Second Life experience, and you're slow or graphics aren't loading. A lot of times that has to do with the actual device you're on. So, you know, check system requirements and make sure your computer is up to par. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know anything about computers, so don't ask me. I won't know. I just know for me personally, I use a Lenovo Legion. It's a laptop. A lot of people don't recommend, gaming laptops for SL. Like, you need an actual computer. I'm thinking about getting a computer, but I have like an NVIDIA graphics card. If you're going to use Black Dragon, you want a good graphics card, but you don't need that. Like, I was fine on an HP and a Dell for years using Firestorm. Hey D, hey Naomi. I'm dying if they want the WAP. Yeah, we know lag. She our best friend. But before we get into like the fun stuff, I know this part might be a little boring, but I found this a little interesting because I'm one of those people that just like blindly accepts terms and conditions, and I never read them on websites. Only recently did I read the Facebook ones because they updated them. But there are a lot of things that you agree to when you sign up for Second Life. And I truly recommend, if you're joining the viewer or joining Second Life, to go check out TOS. If you go to secondlife.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see the Linden Lab Terms of Service. I'd read those. That's the long one. But I'd read the community guidelines if you don't feel like doing anything, because they're kind of short. But they let you know what's expected of you being in Second Life. Yes, definitely use a laptop cooler. I use a laptop cooler. I have this like cooling tray that I got off Amazon for like $20. And it's lasted me. If you guys want a link to this, let me know. I can link all my like techie stuff if you want. But one thing to keep in mind, so this was the first thing that I came across on TOS that was pretty interesting, is like user content is not confidential. That's literally like I quoted them. So you retain your rights to intellectual property, but SL does basically have a license to use, anything that you create through Second Life on forums, blogs, message boards, like social media, social communities, anything like that. So just keep that in mind when you're creating content, that they do have a license. And I think a lot of times we confuse intellectual property with like a license to use. So just like understand the difference between those little things. Oh my gosh. 83 Amazon wig boxes, girl. You sound like me. Also, it's kind of your responsibility to understand like copyright stuff, and I think this is more catered towards people who create content. Like, it is totally your responsibility to make sure you understand everything about that. Like, Linden Labs doesn't claim any responsibility for your work. Also, what I found interesting, girl, Chanel, yeah, Amazon wigs. This is an Amazon wig. I think this was only $60, and like I just popped this on. We know I didn't seal it in. That's why I got my head cut out, but I put links to it in my little Amazon shop, which might be linked below. I can't remember if I did. But another thing I found interesting, you have to be 18 plus to accept terms and conditions. So basically, you're supposed to have like a parent or guardian read these over and accept for you. But being a Second Life resident, you're agreeing to these terms, and you're agreeing that you're 18 or older, or your parent is. I really wish the Second Life would just be 18 plus, period. But whatever. But basically the way it works is there are certain areas in Second Life that are completely 18 plus. So even by visiting those, you are claiming to be 18 plus. And those are the adult sims. That's where like there can be sex content and possibly violence. And Second Life just don't want you there. So remember that if you're 18 plus, do not go to adult regions, because if you do, you are breaching terms of service. And if you get found out, you could potentially be banned. And once you're banned from Second Life, usually all of your alts are banned and you can't come back. Yes, bundles. What is it? By Sensational? Yes, honey. This is the big one because this is what I get asked so often by people who are new to Second Life. So you cannot sell, you cannot transfer, and you cannot log into anyone else's account. This is actually against terms of service. It's in the terms of service. And if you are found out, not only could you lose your account, but anyone who gains access or is doing that can. So don't purchase accounts from people. Anyone that is going to is offering to log in and do stuff for you. One, it's just not entirely safe, but it's against terms of service. So avoid that. And another thing is you're completely responsible for your account security. So if anyone accesses your account without your password, if it's some type of, security issue on the Linden Lab side and they access your site without using your password or username, then they're kind of responsible for that. But if anyone hacks your account, if they use your email, your password, maybe some security questions they know because you've been just telling them all your tea, Linden Labs is not responsible and they're not required to step in and help you out. And if anything happens while that person has your account that is fraudulent or against terms of service, they will ban that account completely. They're not going to help you recover it. They can ban your whole account, ban any alternative accounts you have, and potentially ban you from coming back to the platform. So just don't let people have your password. Don't tell them the email that you use with your account, and don't reveal too much information about yourself. Because you know how sometimes you have the security questions? Don't reveal all that stuff. Because if they access your account with your information, Linden Labs is not liable. They don't have to do anything to help you out. So submitting tickets and going to them to talk about you've been hacked because they did this and that's not their responsibility. It's only their responsibility if the hacking came from their end and people were able to access your account without any of your information. If there's even a little bit of your information involved, they're going to say that's your fault. Get better. So the next point, I think it's in section 4.2. Literally, if anything goes down on that account, whether or not you authorize the activity, you're held responsible. So if someone hacked your account and went wild and got reckless, you are responsible for that. They're going to hold you responsible. There's also this I remember the security questions because mine is so simple. It's where were you born? And I was I think I've told people that in Second Life. So imagine having my email address and knowing where I was born. Hey, Neve. But yeah, keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, if you do, like we mentioned, have a premium account. So if you miss a payment on premium account, you don't have access to your account. You can't log in, period. It's not just your premium things will go away unless you terminate your premium membership. But if you're premium and you miss a premium payment, you can't get on SL. So keep that in mind. But there's a whole section on payment and premium. But yeah. They said something in here about 13. I can't remember what it was. I didn't note that down. Cause I don't recommend parents, if you're watching this, don't let your 13-year-old on here. Cause going on to my next point, if Linden Labs determines or believes in good faith that you're a registered sex offender violating parole or probation. So they were very good about wording right there. So it's not just that you're a sex offender, but if you are a sex offender and being on SL, your activity on SL violates parole or probation, that's where it's the issue. But that means there could be plenty of sex offenders in SL and you don't want your 13-year-old here. I'm sorry. I just knowing my own experience, I can't imagine. Don't be on here, right? 13. You don't want to be. But they'll terminate accounts if it's against blah, blah, blah. But also another thing too, so alt accounts, if it's determined by Linden Labs, a lot of people are how do they know it's my alt account? I don't know what they have. They said, whatever their way to determine is, but if your one account is banned, all of your alt accounts are also banned. Right, bundles? Now there's a second document called the community standards, and there is a line in TOS that says they expect you to, deal with your own shit, basically, with other residents. They are not required to, but they may step in for some of these. So this is just your, the conduct that they expect you to abide by community standards. So yeah, they literally say they reserve the right, but not the obligation to become involved in disputes between you and others. But in terms of TOS, you can't post or transmit anything illegal, harassing, or anything that violates someone else's rights. you're not allowed to impersonate any person or entity without their consent or like misrepresent your affiliation. So like people always like when people make celebrity accounts, people are like, oh, you can't do that. It's only if you're like really presenting yourself as that person. Like if you have a Rihanna avatar and you're like, I'm really Rihanna behind the avatar, you're not supposed to be impersonating other people. You also can't impersonate a minor in the purpose of like interacting with other minors. So keep that in mind. Can't post anything that's like obscene, hateful, involves terrorism, or is racially, ethnically, or otherwise objectionable. I also read an article today that Linda Labs just recently has restricted any advertisement of political nature on mainland, and mainland is basically land that's owned by Linda Labs online. So that's a new one. I didn't know about that. There was this other funny part that I like legit laughed at because they're like, you're not an employee, so your participation in uploading of content doesn't make you one, and you can't ever expect to be compensated by LL. And there was also something in there that said something like, they don't take unsolicited ideas or inventions for stuff. So like, don't be sending them stuff, because basically they said once you do that, because they don't take unsolicited things, that they also have the license to use whatever you send them, because that's the agreement that you've come into. But in terms of community guidelines, so this one is this big one. So this is like a lot of just general, people understand this, but I don't think anyone's ever realized this in the community guidelines. But again, it's community guidelines. Linda Labs can get involved or they cannot. They get to choose. So you can't share personal information about other users directly or indirectly. And that literally includes, or without their consent. And that includes their gender, religion, age, marital status, race, sexual orientation, alt account names, whether they be suspended, terminated, or active. You're not supposed to. Real world location beyond, or any of that beyond what's provided in their profile. If it's in their profile, they're like, go for it. But if you reveal this stuff about people and it's without their consent, no, honey. Oh yeah, true, rare. So paying monthly is usually convenient. Also, there's a line in here about the remote monitoring, posting, or sharing of conversations without a participant's consent is against TOS. So, well, it's not against TOS, it's against community guidelines. There's a difference here. But, so that's basically like, don't record someone without their consent, or don't share a chat log without consent. I have seen people that have started conversations without saying, like, you speaking to me is accepting, that I may share this. I've seen people do that, but without their consent. You can't just be sharing it. And then lastly, any impersonation of like another user. So taking another user's identity, pretending to be them, or claiming that you are them is against community guidelines. And I feel like I bring that up because y'all know how many like fake Mila Vanderbilt accounts I've come across with like my whole profile there. It's all against community guidelines. And also, if you impersonate a Linden or anyone from Linden Lab Company, it'll lead to immediate account termination. Hey, Vincent. So just read that, because I think, it'll help in terms of like your experience. If you ever come across this where someone's doing something like this to you, you kind of know where you're protected or what their potential involvement is. Honestly, after I read them, my overall like outlook was like, they don't have to be involved at all. So like, while they may want to from a good customer service standpoint, they're not required to protect you in this way. So you really need to be vigilant. You really need to be safe. Just keep all that in mind. We're on the internet, and you are with a whole lot of people. Yeah, Sandra, unfortunately that is against TOS. Yeah. No, you can't transfer, you can't sell, you can't give it away, nothing. You're not even supposed to access another person's account. So even like temporarily logging into someone else's account is against TOS. So usually, the type of giveaways that I've seen, some people do, like I've never seen anyone do that, but I don't watch everybody's channel. The giveaways that are okay, like if you can like give away shapes, and you can gift someone a body and a head and give them a style card. But to actually give them your full account with like a login and password, nope. Mr. Bubbles, I don't know. And I don't know, it's a community guideline. This is not in their TOS to like get in the middle of resident disputes. So they don't have to do anything about that site. But yeah. All right, so I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to get back to like a noob island. But basically, when you first land in Second Life, and I'm sorry if this is like not interesting, because I'm just sitting here staring at Mila. I swear we will get to the interesting stuff in a minute. Yeah, don't log in, because that was another thing that I didn't know was an issue. So like, some of my OG friends that I know in real life, like, I don't know, like Graham and some other people that I know in real life, like we used to log into each other's accounts all the time, like no big deal. Had no idea it was against TOS. And that one's against TOS. That's not just against community guidelines. That one's against terms of service. So I'm not saying that you should look at community guidelines like not as serious, but the stuff, I mean, they could terminate, because that's another thing in there. They can terminate your account for any reason whatsoever if they want to, or if they deem it necessary, or they deem you harmful, or, you know, whatever against the community. But TOS is a serious document that can lead to account termination. And remember, things that happen when you get terminated, you lose all assets in your account. So you lose your Linden balance if you have it. If you have products that you made, you lose everything. They're not required to give anything back to you to compensate you. They're not required to do any of that. It's literally your responsibility to make sure you're within TOS, because they can snatch that account and you're not getting anything. And if you owe them money, you're still liable, or you're still responsible for paying them that money. Yeah, Mama, that happens here too. You're one more again. And I honestly think they do it from like a liability standpoint, because then if you like claim all this stuff is happening on your account and you didn't do it, just remember, they don't care. They told y'all not to log into somebody's account. Okay, so you first log in. Can I go to Welcome Island? I'm so far into this. We're in too deep. I'm 7 years in. I think I would need a brand new avatar. Oh wait, I have one. I created an avatar for the babies. I don't know the password. Yeah, I think I'm too old to get there. But basically, you're gonna land at Newbie Island, and you have a tutorial that is trying to teach you how to use your camera controls, how to walk. You have the option to just teleport out, which I can show you in a second, but you know, it's useful. Just like go through it. They're trying to teach you stuff. You might meet some other people. I've seen people just like hanging out there. But this is a safe space to like run into people and do stuff that you're probably not going to do once you get around other people. But yeah. Oh my God, I know. Do we know it was a man? I think everyone's just saying a man. But yeah, so when you log in for the first time, I might do this actually might log in a Firestorm, because it might be a little closer to what you're seeing on your viewer. I'm going to quit Black Dragon. Again, Black Dragon, I recommend for people who just have decent graphics cards and are used to or want really good like game-like graphics. So let me pull up Firestorm now. I'm going to show you a couple of things in your account that you'll want to see or that you'll want to make use of. Do I even have a Firestorm box anymore? Oh, there it is. I'm mad I have an American Truck Driver Simulator. I'm assuming I was planning on streaming American Truck Driver Simulator. All right, again, so this is a viewer. This is how you log into Second Life. When you first create your Second Life account, you'll have the option to use the Second Life viewer that they have. I prefer... Did my camera shut off? Girl. Why are you giving me problems tonight? Uh-oh. Let me just log in first. What were we talking about? That quickly. I decided today to buy a new camera because the camera that I have is not meant for streaming. It doesn't like it. You know, it's just continuing to remind me. And it's getting too bright. Okay. So this is likely closer to what your viewer is going to look like. Firestorm and Second Life Viewer, I feel like look very similar. They have a lot of the same features too. I haven't used Black or Firestorm just in a few months, and I've already forgotten how. You know what I gotta do? Try to darken this up a bit. I don't know, that didn't help. Every time I turn on the camera, like one day I'll remember. Oh yeah, I was going to give you some money bundles. I forgot. All right. So first thing, when you log in, you have a couple options. You have this button called Avatar in Firestorm. Black Dragon is called Dragon. I don't know what it's called in Second Life. But you can go here and then go to Preferences, or you can just click Control P and that'll bring up your preferences. So there are a couple of things that you want to look at, and give me a second because I'm not used to this viewer anymore. The echoes are in this year, if you didn't know. But the first thing you want to do, if you're an adult, you want to change your settings here, because you won't be able to get to a lot of places if you don't have general, moderate, and adult on. I recently came across a skin store that was in an adult region because their vendors had nudity, of course. But a lot of people were saying they couldn't find that store. So a lot of times when you're like, you can't find something, it's probably because the region is in a setting that you can't get to. So the first thing you want to do is go Control P, open up your settings, and say what type of content you want to access. Now, if you are the parent, leave that on general. If your kid is a kid, I mean, they could change it, but don't let them watch this video. But basically, make sure you're on general, moderate, and adult. That'll allow you to go to all types of regions. Keep in mind, adult regions can have nudity, sex content, and violence. So keep that in mind. We can go over a couple of things in here too, since we have it open. Sorry, I keep accidentally opening my Outlook and it's in the way. Oh yeah, the first thing you learned was that, so you can teleport around. You also have there are a bunch of options and preferences. I'm not going to go through all of them. The one I am going to show, someone just told me not to show y'all, but I'm going to show. Why her tits keep doing this? Like crooked titties. Let's fix her boobs real quick. It's my physics. I'm just going to take them off. Physicas. All right. There's this option where people can see what you're looking at, and you can see if people are looking at you, and it's in your privacy settings under look at. They're called look at targets, and basically it puts like a little crosshair, so it's literally a cross on exactly what you're looking at. So for me personally, I like to see them, so I know when people are camming me. If you don't want other people to see them, there are options to turn those off. That was one of the first things. That's the first thing I do anytime I install a new viewer. It doesn't work on Black Dragon, so if you're in Black Dragon, everyone's going to see what you're looking at. Basically, if you cam into another avatar or get close like I am right now, they are going to know you're looking at them. And for some people, they don't like it. Some people don't care. I've learned to not care because Black Dragon doesn't hide it, so who cares? Another thing to know, so as a new user, you probably kind of know what lindens are, but basically the currency in Second Life is linden, and that's all the money that you're going to use within the game. I'm going to actually just look up really quick how much it costs, because someone was asking me this yesterday and I had no idea. I know. Some people get testy about look at targets, like, why are you looking at me? And I was telling them earlier, like the only reason I even know about look at targets is because when I was brand new, I was looking at this guy because he looked good. Like his avatar was together and mine was not. So I looked at him, but then I got distracted in real life and like walked away for 40 minutes. And I came back and he was like, girl, why are you still looking at me? And I was like, oh, how do you know, sir? But people get upset about it. Yeah, and sometimes like you can see the creeps too, because sometimes I'll have a cross at or a look at target dead on my tit. And I'm like, sir, stop camming my titties. Also, like pro tip, if you wear mesh clothing and a mesh body, I suggest trying to alpha out some things underneath your bits if you don't want people to see you naked, because someone can right click your clothing, click de-render, and you're naked for them. So if you don't want them to do that and like take pictures of you, just alpha out. And we'll talk about alphas in a minute. All right, so $10 is 2,500 linden. What is the lowest amount? Let me see. What's the minimum amount you can buy? It used to be like $250. So I think $250 is the lowest amount you can buy, and that gets you 600 lindens. So lindens don't go very far in the world anymore. Honestly, when people ask me like how much money you need to upload into Second Life to get started, it varies. It really varies on what you want your experience to be like. If you want to hit the ground running with a perfect avatar, looking completely high quality, full mesh, you want everything out the bag. Like you want to be set up. You don't feel like looking a mess and learning things. You just want to look good. It's probably going to cost you about like 15,000 linden. Granted, there are ways for you to do it in a way that's cheaper, but as a new user who just wants to get set up quickly, it's probably going to cost you like 15,000 linden, to be honest. 12 to 15. I think it cost me 12 to set my mom up, but I only got her one outfit. So let's just say with 12,000 linden is $49.80 US dollars. So it's about $50 to get that set up. That's not getting you a home. That's literally getting you your full avatar. So if you want to hit the ground running completely mesh, I have done videos on a 500 linden avatar. I've done a free avatar. I'll probably do another update when Genus comes back, because they're coming back tomorrow. And last time they were here, they had a free head. So we might do an update on that. But about 12,000 will get you a full mesh avatar. You can go cheaper. You're just going to have to like learn a lot about how things work and how to find free stuff. So it just depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it and what you really want to spend. You don't have to spend $50 to start in Second Life. You can start for free. I started for free. I didn't put any money into this, at least for a couple months when I was here. I just like wanted to know my way around. So that's linden. It's nice to have them. We'll also talk about how you can earn them, because you can also earn linden in World. So you can have jobs in World that earn you linden. And if you make a business here, or you create something, or you have just like a great job, you can also withdraw linden to turn it into real money. So a lot of us who, have any type of business in Second Life also withdraw linden. So I haven't had to upload in a very long time. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Yeah, Genus is going to be packed. So let's talk about the viewer. I'm going to see if I'm going to hide my L balance, because I don't want y'all asking me for money. I'm sorry. Let me see. I can't remember how to hide it. Someone told me once. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to take off just the filters from this so we can see my full viewer. Gosh darn it. Okay. Let's have a look around the viewer. TP Hammer is going to be real tomorrow. All right, so this is your viewer. I'm going to show my cursor too. Ooh, I'm hot, y'all. Can we see my mouse? Is it showing up? I don't think so. Oh, there it is. All right, so just like really Second Life basics. Hold on. I told you we're doing the whole user guide today. Yeah, so Katie, that's another thing that comes up in TOS. So you have to like have all of your information on file. So if you want to create a marketplace and sell things, you have to have some form of payment on file, and that'll be a credit card or a PayPal or something. I don't think you can use like Visa gift cards. I think it has to be an actual like credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Oh yeah, Mr. Bubbles. We experienced that. We experience a lot of perverts and creeps. That's why we say, don't let your kids on here. Restrict it. Block the whole site. All right, so this is your viewer. Up in the right-hand corner, you have like sound settings, so you can mute and unmute. If you hover over it, you have all of your like master controls. So you can like hear buttons. Those are like the little clicky sounds. I tend to turn those completely down because I don't like clicks. Ambient doesn't show up everywhere. It's like sometimes when you come across grass and stuff, I notice sometimes if I go through grass a certain way, I can hear it. Sounds can be everything from like water fountains in world to other people's gestures. Sometimes people play music through sounds that are attached to them. Actual music is a music stream, so a lot of the places you go in Second Life have music playing, and you can, control the volume here. Same with media. That'll be like if you have videos playing in world or anything like that. And of course, voice is how you talk to other people. Up here to the left of it, so if you see, there's this little like music icon. Can y'all see that? Let me look. I know this is super small, but there's a little music icon up here as well. That's how you turn on media settings. So if you want to listen to music that might be playing on the land, you just click that, you hit allow. You can say allow now or always allow, and then you'll start to hear whatever music is playing there. You can turn it off. It's the same with media. So if you're like clicking on a TV and it's not working, you're very likely going to have to turn on your media. You link your PayPal if you go to secondlife.com and then accounts. There's payment information, and that's how you can do it. Or if you're on Marketplace, you can purchase, or when you go to purchase Linden, it'll save it. All right, let me see. Also camera controls. So likely if you're on the Firestorm viewer or the Second Life viewer, you'll see this little eyeball icon. Now you can move your camera around like this. That's how I did it when I first started. So these arrows go like, they rotate. The middle one is zooming in and out. You can also use like if you have a mouse ball or the track, what is that called in the middle of the mouse? I don't know. That'll do that. This goes up and down, side to side. This is a pain in the ass for me. I can't do this. So for keyboard commands, if you hold down the Alt button, whatever you click on the screen, your mouse is going to follow that. So I'm holding down Alt, I'm going to click my face, and that's where the focus of the camera goes. Now, if you want to like rotate, you're still holding down Alt, but you also hold down Control. So you're holding down Alt and Control, and you can now rotate. So camera control, like when I figured that out, it was years. It took me years to find that out. And I think it's because someone mentioned it on Facebook. So I was years in the Second Life when I started doing all this. But that's so much easier than trying to use this little box, especially if you're trying to create videos or content. You don't feel like doing all that because you're going to miss yourself. Another thing, since we're just talking about camera controls, I'm just going to keep the video off for a second because it is driving me insane. I don't know why it keeps shutting off. But let me see. Since we're talking about camera controls, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Alt, Control, and Shift. See, my fingers can't do all that. They don't want to. But Alt, Control, and Shift, you can pan. That's another one that I think I only learned that this year. I don't use that one as often because I'm just terrible with having 3 of my fingers doing anything. Another thing, so zooming. So you can zoom in and out like normal, either with just holding down Alt and getting close to your avatar or using your mouse wheel. You can also zoom like in a way that makes your avatar look bigger by hitting Control and 0. So if you hit Control and 0, this is how I like taking pictures like this because it's super close and it just feels like more realistic in pictures for me. I can't walk around like this because it always throws me off. But Control 0 gets you really close. Control 9 will put you back. And you can also zoom out far by doing Control 8. So that's just another different kind of look. And then always Control 9 brings you back. Anything else I'm missing with camera controls? I don't use very many. I feel like I keep it very minimal. Another thing that I feel like new users never know about are wind lights. So we have wind lights in Second Life, which basically is how you control your light settings. I always hear new avatars talking about it's dark out. You control your lighting. So granted, sometimes on Sims, it goes through a day cycle, but you control your lighting. So if you're in Firestorm, there's an option under World, and then go down to Environment Editor and go to Environment Settings. The first thing you want to do here is uncheck always use parcel region settings. So that'll be automatically checked. Uncheck it. Make sure you click on customize my environment. And then now if you go to fixed sky, you can choose any of these different lights that are in. As a brand new user, the first thing I always like to use was this one called Calwell, so CALWL. And this is a good one if you just like bright lights all the time, but you can go through these and find whichever one you want. Once you hit OK and you have it set up and that thing's unchecked, you can also do Alt-P. And this gives you a little bit more options when it comes to wind light, and you can like easily switch through them. So this one, you're looking at the wind light sky, and I'm just clicking the right arrow and it's going through a bunch of different ones. And you could just do this until you find one that you really like. You can also get additional wind lights, download them and upload them. I feel like that's another video, but you can get other wind lights. Fox City, if you search Fox City in Second Life, they have a bunch of wind lights and instructions on how to install them. They're called the Satomi wind lights, and I really like those personally. So if you have time to go through all those and figure out how to upload them, I suggest maybe I'll do a video on it another time. But that's useful. Also, if you're like a picture person and you're trying to like capture shadows, or you just want like the lighting to look a little different, this bar here changes the time of day. So on some of these darker settings that have different controls, you can move the slider around and it'll show you like different aspects of the wind light. So sometimes it can just be really pretty. You have a bunch of tools here. I'm not going to get into all of them. I don't think you need that when you're just starting off, but you want to at least have a wind light that you can see yourself, because if not, you're just like, a sim could get dark on you out of nowhere and then you want to be able to see yourself. Wind lights also make a huge difference in terms of pictures. Also, if you find yourself like not performing well, things are laggy, you can't move around, or maybe you're performing fine and you just want more detail, you can also change your graphics settings. So if you do Control P again, we're going to go back to preferences, and you have this graphics tab. And right now mine are pretty low because earlier I was on 2 viewers. If your computer can take it, people tend to exist in like the high or ultra range. That's if you have a good graphics card and your computer can handle it. I don't know if I can't really handle that on Firestorm anymore for whatever reason. I lag more on Firestorm than I do Black Dragon. Suddenly. Suspicious. Hey, Kelsey. But if you are lagging, you're having a hard time, the easiest thing to do is like drop these down to a lower setting. When I was on HP or Dell, I was always on mid. I honestly didn't see that big of a difference. It was just like I didn't have shadows and stuff, but that didn't matter to me. You can also be on like a high graphic setting and just turn off some of like the fancy things. Like you could always turn off advanced lighting. If you're on ultra, sometimes it turns on ambient occlusion, but you could also like be on mid and turn on some of those things. So just really like play around to see what your computer likes. If you notice you're lagging a lot, come back to this area and, you know, adjust some things. Another thing I always look at is this maximum complexity. So basically other people lag you out. So we all carry a certain amount of scripts and just complexity to our avatar. The higher another avatar's complexity is, the more you are going to lag. So sometimes you can control like how high you want to see it. 200,000, I think is too high. Like I think my personal complexity, it's not showing right now. Let me see if I can find it. So my complexity is 63,000. If someone was at 200,000, and like I have a lot of scripts and HUDs on, if someone's at 200,000, you don't even want to see them. So I usually keep mine down at least to 100,000. And that means like people around you, they're going to show up as these like weird jelly dolls. Like they're going to be colorful little jellies, but they're not going to lag you out. I also usually turn my max number of avatars down. So if there were more than 16 people around me, the additional people are going to show up all pixelated and weird, but they're not like stressing my computer out to load them. Yeah, I usually turn up my graphics for photos, but when I'm just like lingering around town, I'll keep them down. Amaya, they can see your goodies with Legacy. We talking about if they do render your clothing. You would have to be alphaed out, unless you're in that photo mode, but that means they wouldn't be able to see you at all. All right, so that's graphics. We've gone over a lot so far. What I'm going to try to do is separate this video into like little chapters so you can skip to whatever you need. Yeah. Does changing the graphics settings make a difference when taking pics? Yes, the higher your graphics, the better your pictures are going to look. Kelsey, I've heard mixed things on this. So sometimes people put it on mid, but then turn on ambient occlusion and advanced lighting. That'll kind of give you the effect with the shadows and stuff. But it really is like you don't have to necessarily use that slider. You can pick and choose exactly what graphic settings you want to use. The ones on the bar are basically just like putting you into pre-selected configurations. So technically, if you're on mid and you select everything that's ultra, it's going to take the same amount of work from your PC as just being on ultra. It's just the ultra is a pre-selected configuration, whereas if you mess with the sliders yourself, those are just your custom settings. Oh, that's another thing. So you can also save your settings. So once you say you find your happy place and it's like the best for a picture, you want to keep that. Down here where it says presets and save, just hit save. And then you can say, for me, this is low settings. I'm going to say low settings. I'm going to save it. And you can always load like your favorite settings. So now if you hit load, you can do low settings, hit OK, and it'll go back to whatever you configured. I'm going to talk about alphas and all that when I get to bodies. Full body close-ups, I'm terrible at. In Black Dragons, it's easier because you can tilt your camera. But for me, when I do a close-up, I do Control 0. You have to kind of be in an open space because if you do Control 0 and back up, you could potentially run into a wall or whatever's in front of you because things are technically closer. Sorry, my feet are on the ground. If your feet are on the ground, just increase your hover. It's a right-click, appearance, hover. So yeah, I'm terrible at it. I need to do an update on photos, but I'll get to that when I get to bodies. It's basically covering parts of your body under your clothing. Like right now, you see how there's a gap at my ankle? It's because I technically have my ankles alphaed out and I forgot to put them back. But yeah, I'm not great at a full body like with this type of zoom because you really do have to be in an open space. Because see how far I actually am away from her? It's tricky. Yeah, they make bomb panties, so that's another thing. We'll talk about that when we get to bodies. I don't want to jump ahead yet. But that's graphics. I would just suggest you read through or just like go through preferences as you feel like it. I'm 7 years in. I haven't looked at all of these yet. Another thing that could be useful is to enable your advanced menu. So if you go to advanced, show advanced menu, that'll pop up this thing. And this is somewhere where you can do things like quiet your snapshots. Because right now, if you take a picture, that like sound goes off and everyone knows you just took a picture. So if you enable the advanced menu, you can select quiet snapshots and high res snapshots. So I suggest like doing that. It's also useful to disable camera constraints because that means you can cam someone from anywhere on a sim. Like if they're thousands of meters away, you can still cam them. Hey, Triple Dot Sims. I like Black Dragon, so I was just on Black Dragon before I switched back over to Firestorm. I primarily use it. Okay, here we go with Money Man. His tips. But yeah, so that's useful. Your preferences are useful. As a new user, you probably won't need this, but there's something called where is it? I'm just gonna look for cache really quick. A couple other things too, because sometimes when people are lagging, they tell you to clear your cache. That's not something you want to do if you're like having trouble rendering things, because it just makes things like take longer. But if you're having trouble like getting your inventory to load, and this is usually after you've been here for a little bit and you've been doing a lot of shopping and your inventory just won't load, sometimes you may need to clear your inventory cache. I do that. I never just clear my like normal cache because I don't know. I don't technically know how that works, but I feel like when your cache is bigger, that means it's like it takes less time for your computer to load stuff. So if you clear it, it's going to take your computer longer. Oh yeah, so another thing, when it comes to like being social or antisocial like me, I was talking about this earlier because I think one of the big things about your Second Life experience is really controlling how much you want to communicate and how much you want like people to have access to you. When you have people on your friends list, they can see when you're online and when you're offline. Some people hide that. Like for me personally, I never look to see when my friends are logging in and out. That's why I usually don't ever say hi because I can never see it. You also have all these other options to allow people to move your objects, to allow people to locate you on a map. So that means they can see wherever you are in Second Life. You can see very few people in my life have that option. But this first column here is who can see you online. So what I usually like to do is I add a lot of DJs and hosts because I like to go to parties. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered. And what DJs and hosts do is they send invitations constantly when they're working. So usually what I do, if it's a DJ, sorry, Doe, but if it's a DJ, I uncheck my online status so they can't see that I'm online. That means they won't send me, random invitations out. But yeah, that's useful. Also, if it's just like a guy that you only want to talk to on the weekend, he's not your week boo, you can uncheck that so he doesn't know when you're on. Granted, it's not foolproof because if they have a HUD and they're stalking you, they can still see. If they're that serious about it, I suggest you distance yourself from them. Also, if they just like happen to IM you, like sometimes I send people offline IMs if I just need to send something like right now. But if they IM you, they're going to know you're online and you're hiding. And sometimes that can make for an awkward situation. But people should understand. I feel like we all do it. Everyone should understand at this point. To take a photo, so you can configure your own toolbar. Let me see where it is here. I told y'all I stopped using Firestorm. Oh, so it's toolbar buttons. Now these are all the buttons that you have access to, and you can basically grab and drop these wherever you want on your screen. And Firestorm, I put most of them at the bottom, and Black Dragon, I put them on the top and the side. The ones that you absolutely want are your inventory. So it's somewhere in here. I'm just going to drag it from about down here. I usually put my inventory over here. I usually put my camera controls over there. And then snapshots. So there's one, it looks like a camera. I put that over here too. To actually take a picture, all you have to do is click that snapshot button. So you would like get into the pose or the angle that you want to be in. You could adjust your lighting by hitting Alt-P if you want to, and then you just click snapshot. Now you have a bunch of different options. Usually if you want a high quality image, like the bigger your picture, the more quality. So just do what your computer can handle. I honestly have never needed more than 5,000 pixels. Like if I go bigger, I don't see the difference. So I don't ever care. Oh, thank you, Ricky. Yes, be brave. It was super fun. And you have different options of where you can save it. You can, where is that at? Am I lying? There's a way to save it to your inventory. If you save a picture to your inventory, it charges you 10 linden. I usually just save to my computer. I like the proportions better when I save to my computer. And if I wanted to upload, I would. Girl, Shay, I know. I know you know. Yeah, I've been called out for that a lot, like, because I hide my online status. Sometimes I'm in those phases where I don't want to talk to anyone, so I've gone through my entire list. There's no way to hide all. You have to do it, like, individually, so that's a little annoying, but I do it all the time. And if people have a problem with it, I usually just delete them, because that's your business. How often or how accessible you want to be is your business, honey. Another thing to keep in mind, too, there is an option called Radar, which will tell you, click on selection. Tell me more, Spazzy, because I feel like you're dropping some knowledge I didn't know about. But Radar basically tells you people who are around you. So if you go to World and then Radar, so this is just a list of people who are on Sim. They'll tell you how close they are. And if it's bold like this, that means they're, I think, in the same region as you. It turns like a yellow color depending on your like color settings, but it turns yellow if they're within range. And when we say within range, that means if I type something down here in nearby chat, they'll see it. So if I'm like, hey, people that are within range, it's usually 20 meters or less, they'll see that message. I see a lot of new users always make the mistake. Like say I was looking at Zara and I was like, oh, hey, Zara from over here. She's 61 meters away, so she can't see that. You would have to IM her directly. You can turn it all off at once. Girl, I didn't know about this. Oh, just say where you change it. Selection. Oh, selection right here. Okay, so you have all these different options. Again, I always feel like it saves higher quality to save it to your computer and then upload it to like Twitter or Flickr or wherever you need it to go. And usually if I save to inventory, it makes it a square, so it distorts my image a little bit. Child, let me see. See, so I can go to friends, like here. How do you select all? I don't know. But this is Radar. This is also how you cam people. So remember, Check your privacy settings first. Make sure your look at targets are off because they're going to know, unless you don't care, if you're like me and don't care. So right now, I'm going to cam Zara because I know she's on a parcel that I can cam. The rest, these are like light gray, so that means they're on different parcels that I can't see into. Like Omer, for example, he's at his house. And his house is personal, so I can't just cam and look into there. Girl, look at this. Nonsense. I got to pay my bots, y'all. But Zara I can cam because we're on the same parcel. So if you right click on their name from radar and click zoom in, that's how you can just cam people. I'm nosy. I do this a lot. So if I'm just chilling out on sim and I see someone land, I'm gonna cam to see where they are, especially if they're on the same parcel as me. But keep in mind, if you're somewhere private where they might be in like their bedroom or I don't know, do something private. Doing something adult in private and be forewarned before you just go camming them. And be forewarned if you have your crosshairs on, because then they can see you. But she's slowly rezzing in. She's all the way at Faith and Flower, so she's away from me. And if you hit escape, or if you just move, it'll bring your camera back to you. That people tab. I'm still trying to figure out what y'all telling me. Am I here? Is this the right place? Because I know that I, like... Oh! Wait, no, that didn't work. That's just showing me. That's like changing the sort. Anything's hard the first time you're doing it. So if it's your first time, it's gonna be hard. Girl. At the bottom? Oh, down here. I'm really trying to like turn off. Oh my gosh, you guys dropped knowledge on me. So if you click on the little friends tab from that like people thing, you can turn off. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So now I can turn on just a couple. I'm only gonna turn it on for like Ray and Eugen. Sorry for everyone else that's on my list. I've been here for 7 years, Ariana. If I didn't learn how to make an avatar in 7 years, kick me out. No shade to y'all that haven't learned yet. Dude, best thing. See, I learn something every single time. All right, so what was that? Those are useful tools. The last tool I want to show you guys, because you ask me all the time how to get places. Everyone gets around places by use of landmark and by use of search. So on Firestorm, what's super useful is there's a search bar right here. So if I wanted to say, I want to go to, I don't know, where do we want to go? Say I want to go to a beach. I can just type in beach here, press enter. It's going to bring up Second Life search. And it is now going to look for anything related to beaches. On this left-hand column, you can segment that however you want to. So if you want to see everything, if you want to see specific events for beaches, if you want to find a person named Beach, you know, do you, boo. And this will have a list of everything. When these three things are lit up like this, that means it's active. There are people there. Granted, it doesn't necessarily mean there is no one at these other places, but they're not very high in traffic. If you are aiming for traffic, look at both things. Look at the traffic number and look at how active it is. For me, I tend to go to the places that have one lit up because I don't like being surrounded by too many people. But yeah, so like here, I would probably go to Paradise Beach. If you go to Naughty Beach, expect there to be adult things. It's an adult sim. It's probably going to be nude. So just read descriptions. And that's how you can go places. Once you click on teleport, it'll ask you if you want to teleport there and it'll bring you directly there. Say you want to come to Bayside, because I'm always talking about Bayside and this is where I live. All you have to do is hit Bayside. There's one Bayside that is not mine. I don't know who Bayside Community is. They popped up. But Bayside City is mine. So this is how you can come visit me. I need to change that picture. I totally forgot. But that's how you search for things. So same for stores. So speaking of AO, say you want to go to Vista that sells a bunch of AOs, you would type in Vista. And that's how you would get to the store. So you would just make sure to look through because there could be multiple search results, just like, you know, anything on the internet. So this one's called Vista Animations. That's how you would get there. So anytime someone says just a name for a store and you don't know how to find it, all you have to do is type it into search and it'll bring you there. Did I still not hide whatever this is on my screen? What was that? But I have a whole video on AOs and how to create your own and animations. So yeah, that's teleporting. Also, people shop on Marketplace. So you're gonna find that you're gonna enjoy one of these things. So I personally like shopping on Marketplace and I over shopping in Worlds because I don't like TPing around a lot. But basically, if you want to shop online, Second Life has an online store. Granted, everything's not on here. Creators can choose whether or not they want to put their stuff on Marketplace. But basically, it's marketplace.secondlife.com, and that's also how you can search for things. I'm gonna try to get it to come up, but I think I'm gonna have to hide my chat really quick. Just like, let me be great, chat. All right, so this is Marketplace. There you can search by category or store. We're gonna get into bodies in a bit, but usually if you're searching for like clothing, you want to search for something plus your name. Like say I wanted a t-shirt, I would say t-shirt and my body is called Legacy, so I would say t-shirt Legacy. And then for me, I always sort by newest first because there are no like dates on anything on Marketplace, so you have no idea how old something is. But everything, the most recent, you can just sort it that way. And you'll see all the new stuff. And this is a really cool way to find stores. Another good way to find stores is by searching, going to like events in World. There are shopping events, and that's basically like, I don't know, like I don't know what to compare that to in real life. But there are events. There's a site called Seraphim. I don't know how to spell it. I've already forgotten. I link it somewhere on my blog, but there's a store called Seraphim that usually lists all the events and when they're coming out. I feel like I never check it. That's why I'm always like, when's this event start? But if you want to know, that's a good way to learn what clothing stores there are. What was that? That was just me search. Oh my gosh, Marketplace needs dates because you really don't know if you're buying something from this year or like, the beginning of Second Life. Because sometimes the photography is just good, so you get, fooled. Thank you, Momo. So Seraphim, she put it in chat. I'll link it to maybe if I make a post. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So that's how you find places. Again, you can search for them. Also, say you didn't know a store and you bought yourself a Legacy body. I'm gonna get into bodies, don't worry. But say Legacy, a lot of the time stores put descriptions with keywords. So sometimes if you look for Legacy clothing, you'll come across a couple of stores that have put Legacy clothing in their description. Like Mangula is a great store and they have a lot of freebies. So this would be a great store. So if you're just like searching for something, you can search it in World. If you want something specific, you could search for it on Marketplace. And if you just want more exposure to find out more about stores and different types of styles in one place, search for different shopping events. What is Sindar? And no, SL hasn't said anything about closing to my knowledge. They've been making a lot of updates. Shall we get to the next point in this video? This is gonna be a long video. I had no expectation of this ending in an hour. Historically, we could talk about it if you guys want more of like my YouTube experience and kind of some of the things that I do for YouTube. Let me know. I haven't figured out, I couldn't tell if anyone on that watches my channel was interested in starting a YouTube channel, so I don't talk about it often. But if you are, let me know. Yeah, they're going to the cloud. It's been a very long, arduous process, but it's supposed to make our experience better because as avatars and things have gotten more complex, they've become more taxing on our computers. But what are you gonna do? Yep, I'll keep this live up and I'm going to try to organize it so people can find the information they need when they need it. So let's talk about your shopping list. So what do you need to purchase when you are just starting in Second Life? I'm going to give you the list and then I'm going to tell you kind of how to find it. I can't give you a never-ending list of everywhere to go. I'm just going to give you a couple of recommendations. Again, this is not me saying these stores are the best. They're just the ones that I know. So one mesh is basically what our avatars are consisted of. When you first log in, you're probably going to look a little funky. You're going to be in a standard default avatar and you have no mesh on basically. So you need to get yourself meshed out. I'm actually going to save this outfit and switch over to the default avatar so we could do this together. You guys know I get very anxious changing Mila's avatar because I just don't. Mila, this yo avatar ho. So what I'm doing right now is I'm saving my outfit as is, so I don't have to look through my inventory for all of this. Oh my god, y'all remind me before the end of this video to talk about inventory, because if I could set y'all up with a good inventory from the beginning, you'll never be in my predicament. All right, let's all have our moment because I'm so scared. All right, so these are what the avatars look like. I should put on the avatar that my alt has. This is the one that my bot. Oh yeah, thank you, girl. Let me pan out. Y'all are here for it. All right, because she might just get naked for a second, so we don't want to flash everybody. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the default avatar. Oof, y'all, I haven't done this in 7 years on Mila. I create new avatars all the time, but I have never. Whew. Oh, love, I feel you. And it's just gotten even more expensive. You don't need it. Be homeless. No one cares. I feel like having a home doesn't change my Second Life experience. Sometimes it's nice. Like, we do have cheap homes in Bayside. Like, for me, there were a couple years where I was completely satisfied with a tiny little space just on a roleplay sim where I could go walk to the market and stuff. So that's why I'm very insistent on keeping some of our rentals only at 300 Linden. So, if you feel like it. All right, here we go. So this is what some of you may log in as. None of this is mesh. So basically, if you're going for high quality, now I'm saying nothing is wrong with this, right? There is nothing wrong with walking around like this. And I'm suggesting everyone who is a Second Life resident already stop shaming newbies. Like, we've all been there. Because there are weird social things that happen in Second Life. When people see an avatar like this, they tend to just ignore them and not talk to them. Granted, it's because a lot of us are jaded, because what tends to happen when people are very new, they need help. And sometimes if you don't have the capacity, the time, or just the interest in helping them, they lash out on you and it makes your experience bad. Also, a lot of people just ask for money. I'm going to ask you all right now to never get on here and ask someone for money, or don't try to pity them into giving you money. If they offer, that's great, but just nobody likes that person, and it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. I always say I have no problem saying no to people. A lot of people are very uncomfortable with that, so try not to put people in that predicament. Honestly, if you can't upload it yourself, just do what is within your means. And that also comes with help. Honestly, it can be taxing on people to feel like they have to help people all day. Whereas a lot of people really love to help. So if you really want to go somewhere to find someone to help, there are newbie hubs. They call them safe hubs. You can also type noob in search, or newbie, because a lot of places are called newbie friendly or stuff. And if you go there, there's a lot of people that'll just help you out, and they're open to it. I'm sorry for whoever sent that friend request. I don't accept friends on Second Life. I know I have some, but that's just 7 years worth. I haven't accepted a friend in at least 7 months, and I just don't do it. If I run into you, feel free to say hi, though. I just don't have friends. Because of that same reason. People cuss me the hell out because I don't talk to people. All right, so we're at basic avatar. So the way you change things. So basically your shopping list, write down your shopping list right now. These are all the things that you're going to have to buy if we're going for high quality. You're going to have to buy a body. You're going to have to buy a head. You're going to have to buy a skin for your head. You're going to have to buy a skin for your body. You're going to have to buy a shape, or you can make one, but it's really hard to figure out how to make a shape just in the beginning. Some skins come with shapes, so we'll try to find one like that. You're going to have to buy an animation override or an AO or poses, so you move or you don't move. And then you have to buy clothing and accessories. What is a Linden, Lisa? So that's kind of a long list. And that's what can get pricey. It's honestly the body and the head that's pricey. The rest you can find some deals on. But it depends. Like, again, I have a couple of videos on how to do this for free or how to do it for cheap. I don't have the time for that right now. We'll maybe do an update video again. But right now we're just going to go for, you know, we're just going to go working. Now, if you're like me and you don't feel like walking around Second Life looking like an angel with, what the hell is she holding? You can detach things from your avatar in two different ways. You can either right click on the item and go to detach, and that'll take the one item off, or you can do this from your inventory. So if you open up your inventory and go over to your worn folder, worn, triple, yeah, that's a lot of money. But yeah, Genius might have a gift tomorrow, so keep an eye out, because once they get back to the grid, they're probably gonna do some freebies. So if you're looking at this right now, don't go buy everything right now, because I think Genius is coming back with a free head. But, you know, that ain't today. So this is everything that you're wearing. I'm wearing this Anna avatar. This is showing everything that I have on. I want to get rid of these wings, so all I have to do is like look for them, or I could have typed in wings and found it, and you right click from your inventory and hit detach. So that's the wings. Let's get rid of that halo, because I feel like she's looking a little crazy with that too. Where is it? Dress, hair. I can't take it off. Is it part of her hair? I think it's part of her hair. We're gonna leave that on so she's not bald right now. Girl, I'm in this default avatar. If y'all see me out in these streets, mind your business. Now, I'm going to start with the body. So there are a bunch of different bodies in Second Life. My favorite is Legacy. Legacy also had this old body back in the day called TMP, which I guess they're calling Legacy Classic now. I don't know what they're calling it. But that one's free. It's at their store, so we'll pop over to the store to look at it. I use Legacy. I think it's one of the pricier bodies. There's also Slink, which was my body of choice before Legacy. It has the possibility to be very curvy, and I think it is the cheapest body out of all of them. I think it's about 2,500 Linden, whereas most of them are about 5,000. So Slink is a good one. A lot of people also like Beliza. And there are 3 different types of bodies for Beliza. I don't know. I don't know much about Beliza. That was my first mesh body ever years ago. And then I never went back. There's also one called Maitreya. I don't know. People like that. Is it because the price? I don't know. People like Maitreya. And then there are other bodies that are like more niche. So there's a body called BBL, you know, like Brazilian booty lift. So if you want a big old booty and a tiny, tiny waist and a big old boobies, there's BBL. There's not all that much clothing for it, so that's a little trickier. Also, Legacy is one of the newest mesh bodies, so while a lot of people are starting to create clothing for it, if you look back historically, they don't have as much as some of the other bodies because they're a newer body. What other bodies? Signature came out with one. Signature, also for men. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring up anything for men. For men, there's Signature. There's also Legacy for men. There's another one. Slink? Does Slink make one for men? And they said Calheen is a good body. Oh, yeah, there's also Sking. If you like real big curves, Sking is another one. There's a bunch. Right now, I'm only going to put on Legacy. I don't even want to know what my shape looks like on the others. Keep in mind, your body is going to look different depending on your shape. So if I just put on, Beliza Jake for men. I always forget about that one. If you put a body on, like usually it comes with shape, so you can add all of that. But I'm going to pop over to Legacy just because I wear that body. And that's what's in all of my videos. How do we get there? I'm going to start. So Legacy, is it still called the Shops? They're by a store called the Shops. Right? Am I lying? Okay, yeah. Search for the Shops. And this is it. The picture looks like this. Is this it? I feel like that name looks suspicious. I'm gonna go to the first one. Oh, an E-body. So E-body, if you're looking for a way to start off without spending a lot of money, E-body makes a free body. Mr. Bubbles, I feel you. I think I own them all except for Maitreya. That's the only one that I was never sold on. But E-body, and I hear they're coming out with the head too. And when we talk about skins, I'm going to talk about like what bakes on meshes. But if you want a free body, E-body is an option. And there are a lot of stores that create free clothing for E-bodies. So it's really newbie friendly. All right, so shops, child, buying this body is going to be a freaking nightmare because it's not simple. You got to like click on stuff. But, oh wait, did they change that? Can you just buy it now? Thank goodness. They used to have this complicated ass system. I used to hate it. But always try things on, grab a demo as a new resident, you know, exist in the demo for a few days to see if you really want to commit to it. Because what I did is I got into Second Life. I bought, I think back then we had to buy all of our body parts separately. So I had to like buy an ass and I had to buy boobs. But what I tend to do when a new body comes out, I'll just buy it and then I'll put it on. I'm like, oh, I really don't like this. So that's what I did with Beliza for a while. And I was like, okay, I'm in Beliza. I didn't like Beliza a week later and I had to get something else. So just keep the body on for some time. Try to find clothing for it. Like you could walk around in a Zimma body. It's not going to disappear. Yeah, people might judge you, but like who cares about those people if they're going to? But yeah, these are all of them. All the bodies here. I'm going to try to find the free body too. And I'm going to go over to E-body so you can see that. They have a bunch of different legacy versions too. So that's what we're seeing here. So those are the men's bodies. They have the athletic one and I guess the standard one. I didn't know they came out with a new body. Hello, sir. For women, they have a perky version. So that's for like, you know, perky boobs. And then they have just like your standard legacy. So with legacy, I like this because it has so many options. Like you can be very slim and tight. You can be very curvy. If you want to be a little chubby, you can. Yes. If you're joining it now, Black Friday, there's going to be some sales. And of course, there's the pregnancy body. So this is the one that I use for my Second Life pregnancy. Where's the free one? Is that not here? They do have a free one. I just don't know where it is. I don't think it's in the same space. Someone's gonna have to like drop that knowledge in the comments. If you have legacy, I saw very little difference in the body. So the same exact shape I achieved with the pregnancy body, I achieved the same exact shape with the basic legacy. The only difference, the pregnancy body does change your spine, so you stand differently. However, if you are buying pregnancy animations, that really doesn't matter. Ooh, Chanel, I think Ezra might have to come over here. Oh, the mesh project. Okay, let's just go over there really quick. So again, this is for your body. And I'm going to put my body on like one piece at a time so you can see exactly how to add it. I don't feel like looking through all this. All right, so now I'm kind of getting why y'all say y'all can't find stuff sometimes. I'm not looking through anymore. I've given up. But she said the free one's at the mesh project, so search for that. I don't think there's any such thing as a better body. I think they all do the same thing. I think it's literally what you like yourself to look like. I don't like what I look like in a Beliza. I like what I look like in a legacy. But yeah. I am going to go over to E-body so you guys can see the free body. And you know what's crazy? Like E-body's a nice effing body. So like honestly looks very similar to legacy for me. Legacy is just like more supported when it comes to clothing and stuff. But E-body's a damn good body. How I get there? Why is nothing easy to find? Should I look for places? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Every store that sells them is coming up before them. I don't know. Is this it? No, it's a shape store. I can't find these things. I don't feel like looking. But, oh wait, is this it? E-body shop. Goodness gracious. All their keywords just got snatched. Yeah, I hear Maitreya is very easy to use. Maitreya for me, I couldn't get the booty I wanted. Y'all know I wanted a ridiculous booty. I think I might make a whole video on just how to make that booty. Also, I'm gonna tell y'all some things about shaping things, just in case you want like slight tweaks to the E-body. There's some things you can do. I did the shops. I found the shops. I didn't find the mesh project. All right, so you have two versions here. So one, you have the curvy version of the body. Like, this is a good body. You're gonna look good with this body. You also have the classic, which is a slightly slimmer. Although you have the option to like adjust sliders and stuff, so you can shape your avatar however you want with sliders. Depending on your basic, like your standard mesh, your body can only do so much. So if you have a slim avatar, it's gonna be harder to make it curvy. If you start with curvy, you know, you're gonna have more curves. Oh yeah, Ruth. There's a free body called Ruth too. And now down here, you have a free version of the same bodies. So all you have to do is, I think it's going to charge you 1 linden, but it sends that linden back. I really don't feel like putting on this body because I have a whole video on it. I'm going to show you how to put on Legacy. Otherwise, if I put on all these bodies, we're going to be here for several hours. But this is where you can get your free body. I'm going to drop this link down here because it was hard for me to find. Naomi, what body do you have now? But that's E-body. And again, the great thing with E-body, a lot of people make clothing for it. So you could get this free body and people make clothing for it. And a lot of people make free clothing for it. One place that comes to mind is a store called Queens, like with a Z, Queenz. And then there's also Mangula. If you search E-body, you notice all those stores came up first. Yeah, I couldn't find the free Legacy body. All right, I'm gonna TP back home. Oh, we gotta talk about heads. So for heads, I'm not gonna go to all these stores. We know the big one's coming back tomorrow. Mila wears a genus. The other big one is called Lelutka. Actually, I could go over Lelutka. Lelutka. What I strongly recommend is you get a demo of every single body, get a demo of every single head. This is how I find what looks best on me. Look at Lelutka controlling their own search results right at the top where we like them. But yeah, so that's what I do. I buy every single body, every single head, and then I start skin shopping because your skin is going to be what makes you look unique or look how you want to look. And for me, I had to figure out what the best head was to look the way I wanted to look. Like, again, I don't think there's a best head in general. Look at nip nops and shit. We gotta get out of here. But, I don't think there's a best anything. I think if you have a specific look in your head, you have to like get everything just to demo it and see what you can create. Chanel, I feel like I'm gonna have to do a whole video on this booty and like how do I make my curves, because I do some extra things that aren't just with sliders and body alone. Oh, for the free Legacy. Okay, cool. So yeah, for heads, you guys tell me other heads you know too. So I know Genus, which is coming back. Lelutka, which is where I am, they have really high quality mesh. Catwa seems to be a really popular one. I haven't used a Catwa in a few years. It's not one of my favorites for the look that I'm going for, but it might work for you. I heard E-body's coming out with one. It's not out yet. I don't know who else has heads. Those are the big ones. Those are the ones that have the most makeup and skins for them. So yeah. Also, same story with men. So Lelutka for men. Catwa has men. Genus doesn't have men yet. I also heard her talking about she might. Oh, LAQ. Oh, yeah. Oh, logo. Thank you, Momo. There's a snow rabbit. What? There's also another one in my free video. There's a free head. I forgot what it's called. And the great thing, a lot of some of these free heads are baked on mesh, which we'll talk about in a moment. So you can put any type of skin on them too. So like the E-body, you can't change it. Like you can't apply a skin to it, but you can totally go bomb. All right, let's go back to the apartment so I can start to put this body on. Oh, AK is another head. Genesis, that was the name I was trying to think of. That's the one I use for my, they have a free head. I think they have a few free heads. And I think they have a free head that's compatible with bakes on mesh. Look at me. Look at my no lag life. Well, I mean, things aren't resin yet, but I'm moving easily. So you'll notice the more complex your avatar, the more you're going to lag. She has no scripts on right now. She's like zipping around this apartment, whereas Mila would have like got stuck at that elevator for a minute. But it's still gonna take me a while to render because that's just my life in Firestorm. All right, so I'm gonna put this on really quick so you understand what you need on for a body. So what I'm gonna do first though, before I just throw on her body, is I'm gonna put on an article of clothing so she's just not naked. So now when it comes to clothing, you have to buy clothing compatible with whatever your body is. So if you get the e-body, you have to buy clothing for the e-body. So when we say, is it my size and stuff like that, we're talking about, is it your body? If you buy a legacy, you have to find clothes that are for legacy. Most of the time they say it on like an advertisement or the description. If not, grab a demo. Always grab demos so you can try it on and look in the package and make sure your size is in there. Yeah, I do like me a Leluca head for men. I'm gonna put her in a bodysuit. These are so old. I haven't opened this folder in who knows how long. So I'm putting on the legacy one because I'm going to put on my legacy body in a moment. And I'm going to do it one at a time. Maybe. Yeah. I think all the men in my second life have Leluca. Although, I mean, Graham. I think Graham still has Katwa. He just don't get on and change. But I think he looks good. Okay. So you see how like the clothes look all crazy? It's because she doesn't have the body on. And that's how it's going to look if you buy clothes that are not for your body. So you want to definitely make sure you buy clothes for your body. And what we're going to do first is we're going to take off all the nonsense she has. Actually, I'm probably not going to take off her clothes first. I should have gotten a redelivery from Legacy. Wait, I'm going to go back and get the redelivery. So that way I can just start fresh and I don't have to like. Also, if you go to places, like world places, that's where you can find places that you've saved. You can save things by clicking the star whenever you're somewhere and it'll save here under your landmarks. And then you can also go to teleport history just to go back to a place that you've been today. So I'm going to go to the shops again. Oh, I didn't know all that. I'm just gonna get my body delivered again so I can have a fresh one. So redeliveries, usually we use these if you need like a new version of your body or whatever you've purchased. It's not working for me though. I've clicked it a few times. Just cooperate for me. Is this the actual button or nah? Yeah. All right, that's not gonna work. All right, here it comes. Complicated. Yeah, there's a lot of free AOs on Marketplace. So if you just want something to start with, search free AO. There's like this one called Lucky Girl by somebody. It's free. I use it for all my bots. Like Zara, she has that free AO. Please enable media. Child, I don't feel like doing all this. I'm out of here. We're just gonna put my body on. Oh my gosh, let me go. Oh yeah, 2D. Again, there's no best AO. Vista is a great animation shop, but there are a bunch of places on the grid that make animations. I get a lot of mine from Vista. No, I don't get any of my stands from Vista. I get my walks from Vista. I get my face animations from Vista. I don't get any like stands from there though. It's just really what you want to look like standing around. Okay. Yeah, I have a whole video on how you can make your own AO. I load mine up with animations from a bunch of different stores. For my pregnancy, I did like standing and walking animations from 2D. There's a bunch of, but if you're starting, honestly, just buy a cheap one. All right, I'm gonna put this body on. I'm gonna try to find it. All right, so the first thing you have to do is put on an alpha. Most of the time it's called an alpha. It looks like this little like alpha out shirt. On Legacy, it's called Default Avatar Eraser. Now it's gonna get rid of whoever this is. It's not Bitsy, it's somebody. So now I'm safe to take off all of her stuff. So I'm just gonna right click and say remove from outfit, and that's gonna take off everything I can. It's not gonna take off things like skins or her eyeballs or her eyebrow shaper, what is what they call it, I think. It's just gonna take off all the stuff that the mesh is gonna cover. So the next thing you wanna put on, once you have that on, you wanna find where your body is. So for me, it's right here, it says body legacy. I'm gonna right click it and click add. Another thing, don't ever double click from your inventory, because if you do that, it's gonna take something else off. You just wanna right click and hit add all the time. This whole time I've had no music on for y'all. What a bizarre experience for us. You've just been in the silence. And this is not the song we're gonna start with. No, honey. Next. I'm so sad. I have a video on it, girl. You're gonna have to watch that one because we don't have time for that tonight. Alright, so this one also comes with feet. So look in your package. Sometimes hands and feet are separate. So here, the feet, and then I also want to add my hands. Okay, that's how you would add it from your folder. I'm not gonna add this one because this is not my real body. So it's all messed up. Let me put on my body. Oh gosh. I'm gonna wear everything from this folder. It's freaking me out. Ooh. Ooh, child. All right, Mila's gonna slowly come together. But once you add all of your body parts, you would do the same with your head. Most of the time your body will also alpha out the area that covers your head. So you would throw that on and then throw your head on. And then the next step would be to buy a skin. So I have a bunch of different videos on skin shopping. My most recent was that creating diverse avatars, and I go to a lot of skin stores in that. So if you're looking for like skin stores and how they all work, I would suggest watching that video. Everybody asks me every single video, where's your skin from? I change them up often. I keep my like lips the same, but my skin changes probably every time I log in. I really like the store It Girls. That's where a lot of my skins are from. I also really like the store Studio Exposure. Not Found is amazing. And again, you have to buy for whatever your mesh is. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Your head has to match your head skin. So if you go to a store for a skin, make sure that store sells for your head. So right now I'm wearing Genus. If I go to a skin store, you want to make sure you buy a skin for Genus. Again, I recommend getting every single demo you want. I'm going to go over to a store right now just so you know what I mean by demo. We're going to go Not Found because their skins are bomb. Actually, I'm not going to do Not Found because they don't sell their own skin for their body. I'm going to do It Girls. This part's for avatar customization. We have gone over a lot so far though. Where is it, girls? Is it one word? Why can't I ever find stuff? Oh, here it is. It Girls is one word. Babe, I've never heard them. I have to check them out. Alright, so It Girls is like, seriously, this is where I tell everybody to go first. because they make for different heads, and they just have a good color range. Thank you so much for the subscribe, and sorry, Anna. Thanks, girl. Yeah, we went over a lot. We talked about TOS, community standards, viewer navigation. Alright, so this is basically when you go to a skin store, you're shopping for your face and your head. You'll also have to get a separate thing for your body, but the pricey part is going to be for your face and what you look like. So when you look at these vendors, usually the way they look like that is the result of a shape and a skin. The good thing I do like about It Girls and a lot of stores that do this, they come with a shape. So if you want it to look exactly like that, granted, it looks like there might be a little bit of Photoshop work here, but if you want it to look very close to this, you could achieve this by wearing this shape that comes with it and the skin. You'll probably have to make modifications to the body to fit whatever look you're going for, but you could very well come out looking just like this. And this is one of the stores where, although photoshopped a bit, I think her skins really do look like their vendors. And they make a lot of their skins for all 3 heads. So I love a store like this. This is why I always recommend It Girls, because no matter what, you can find something for yourself. Like, every skin isn't going to be for all of them, but a lot of them, you know, she just has a lot of options for every head. I love It Girls. And be sure, if y'all are watching this back, check out chat. They have a lot of other recommendations. So basically, all you have to do is like find a demo. What is her demo? Is it the vendor? Is it this? Okay, yeah. So to get the demo, it's always gonna be something $0. Sometimes it'll say demo. Sometimes it'll be like the picture. This one for it's the palette. Just make sure it says $0 because sometimes I've accidentally bought a fat pack instead of a demo. These are the different colors it comes in, but you can demo all the colors and the look and the shape to make sure it's what you want. So right now, like this girl, she's gonna know I'm camming her, but she has the demo on. So she's trying some things on. And usually skins that are demos, they'll say demo or they'll have like all those rings around you. But like I said, your first 3 days in the world, don't be embarrassed. Just like, honestly, demo and come up with a look you like versus like wasting a bunch of money and then wanting to change your look in another week. It's just worth it to take the time. So that's skin. Shapes. So say you come in here and you like the skin, but you don't want to look like everyone else that comes in here, you could just change up your shape. Like, a shape makes a significant difference. You can also edit your own shape. So if you right click your avatar, go to appearance, go to edit shape, you have a bunch of options to edit every single part of your avatar. So you can change like her head size if you want to. I'm a child, y'all. I can't do stuff like that and not laugh. You could change the eyes. This, I think, is something that takes practice. But of course, like, I always recommend just buying a shape that you like go on Marketplace. Find one that's like still pretty to you when it comes to like structure, and you could put a different skin on it and you'll look different from other people. So that's really how you can, you know, start to customize your appearance to not look very cookie cutter. Just play with shape and skin combinations. I have a video on shaping too, so check that out. I mean, granted, I'm sure it needs an update just in terms of what avatars look like, but how it works hasn't changed. Another thing to think about with skins, so when you wear a skin just the way it is, a lot of the times, let me actually grab the demo. I'm gonna try to grab the Genus demo. I'm not gonna change my skin because I'm in no mood to go try to figure out what skin I'm wearing. But I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Also, if you want to not search through your whole inventory, you just want to get like what you just bought, go over to your recents tab, and the most recent thing you purchased is gonna be on the top. Oh shit, this one's completely bomb. We don't have time to like go deep into bomb. I have a video on Bakes on Mesh, aka bomb. Go check it out. I'm gonna try to find one that's not only balm. Damn, girl, you done updated. This one is one of the skins that I have. Everyone always asks me about a skin. I have this one. I think I wore that like last week. That might have been my subathon skin. Are they all bomb now? Are we not gonna find an? Are they upstairs? These are the older skins upstairs. Okay. So basically when you buy a skin, you're buying what's called an applier. So it's basically, you put on this thing, you right click and add it. These little boxes are going to be your skin applier. Usually on skins, it's these three options are eyebrows. So dark eyebrows, brown eyebrows, or without eyebrows. You would click on one of those buttons and it would take over the skin on your face. You would have to do the same for the body. Like you would click one of the body appliers over here and you would click it for your body. Now when mesh came out, we could only apply things to our mesh. So that's why a lot of these things are appliers. But this year, Second Life did this release where they brought back being able to just put on basic layers on mesh. So we call that bakes on mesh. And it basically is like applying what you could also apply to a system avatar onto mesh. So you'll see it looks a little different here. Like you see these boxes, those are your appliers, but these are your bakes on mesh things. You do have to do something special to both your head and your body for bakes on mesh to work, depending on your head. Because Leluca, a lot of the new ones are bakes on mesh only, or initially. But basically all you would need to do is right click and add, and this would take over your face. And then for your body, you would just double click on it and it would take over your skin. So bakes on mesh is a little more complicated. If you're going for a bakes on mesh look, I would just suggest watching my video on it. Because it'll take you through it all. But that's your skin. Remember, skins can either be appliers or they could be just these things you add, and those are your balm. But the great thing about balm, because usually you're limited on how many things you can put on your mesh, but with balm you can load it on. I think you can put up to like 60 things. So you could have like your skin, of course, but then you could add on freckles, beauty marks, makeup, tattoos on your body. I don't know why that one's you know, it's messed up. I put this outfit on but in no order, so I'm gonna have to like do all my layers over. Look at Jenna Gallagher is camming me. This is what we were trying to talk about earlier. But so that's balm. We've talked about shapes. If you search shape on Marketplace, just make sure you're shaping for your body, because shapes for different bodies come out differently. So like if I wanted to find a shape on Marketplace, I would say shape, legacy, genus. So it's shaping my body and my head. Just make sure it has all three. The other thing that you really need that we've been bringing up a little bit are animation overrides, or AOs. That's how you move. So you like see she's standing like this. Everybody has a static AO on. Some of them move. Excuse me. Some people like to like move around and not just like stand there like this. For me, I do static poses. Damn, nip knobs. We gotta get out of here. I had the nerve to be like the the standard nip knobs too. But yeah, it's what lets you walk a certain way. So like the way Mila walks is because of animations. And you see, look at her struggling to get through. But all of that, those are animations, and you can get those from a bunch of different stores. Like I get all my walks from Vista. Akio also has really good walks. Tootie. A lot of these places have free gifts too. My standing animations are from a store called Stun. I like Stun because they also breathe, because a lot of the times if you just use a pose, you're not breathing, and for me it just looks weird when I'm on videos. Girl, we're struggling. I told y'all Mila struggles more because she's got a bunch on. Oh, I forget Firestorm has friends only. Black Dragon doesn't have that, so I'm so used to life without it. Yeah, see, a lot of them move a lot. Like I know my old one from 2D, I used to be all over the place and I was here for it. But yeah, that's avatar customization. Again, I have a lot of videos on this. Also, if you just like watching like, or getting different ideas for outfits and clothes and stuff. On Sundays, I do a get ready with me. So I go through different makeup stores and clothing stores and stuff. So check that out too. And also check chat. You guys drop your favorites, like AOs and stuff. All right, so that is avatar customization. I thought that was going to take up like this whole thing. Another thing I wanted to go over before we end. I know it's 2 hours. I'm sorry, y'all. But I want to go over like general phrases because I saw a couple of people asking questions. And I think we get so used to speaking a certain way, we don't realize that our language is also different. So AFK was something I never heard of until I came to Second Life. And it's basically away from keyboard. But you'll see people type that out all the time. They'll say AFK. And that just means they'll be right back or they're going away for a second. I never heard that in my life until Second Life. But again, I never gamed or wasn't in any of those type of communities. Landmark, again, that's something like when we went to It Girls, if I hit the little star up here, it would have saved a landmark for me. And then your landmarks are just all listed in your places. These unorganized mess. Layers, again, that's usually in regards to mesh. So, or it could be based on mesh. It's just basically different. I don't know how to say it without just saying the word layers. I hate defining a word with the word, but putting on different things onto your avatar. So like these little beauty marks are a layer. That belly button's a layer. My face makeup is, the eyeshadow is a layer. The lipstick's a layer. It's just like all the things that you apply to your avatar. Look at targets we talked about. You'll also hear some people call them crosshairs. I think some of us that are older in Second Life call them crosshairs because that's what they used to be in the viewer. But look at targets. That's when people can see what you're looking at. TP is a teleport. So people can TP you places and you can TP to different places. So like we just teleported to all those different stores. But if somebody was there or if my friend was somewhere and I wanted to be where my friend was, they could teleport me. And vice versa. If I just like opened up this IM box, I could easily like click on this little genie thing and offer a teleport or request a teleport, and then she could send me a teleport if she wanted to. Also, there's this concept of like regions. So that's basically a virtual land. A lot of us call them sims because Second Life used to call them sims. I don't think we made that word up, but a lot of people say sims. That's an area. I remember when I first came to Second Life, I was very confused because I thought when people were saying sims, they were talking about themselves. But a sim is like a place. It's like a full place. And basically on a sim, so think of a sim like a city, and within a sim you have parcels. So parcels are like individual places. So right now I'm on the sim of Bayside, but like if I went over to someone's house, that would be their own specific parcel. What else do we say a lot? Oh, res. So there are several different uses for res. So you remember when my whole apartment was gray and I couldn't see anything? I'm like, oh, it hasn't resed in yet. Resing also means to like put something down. So if I like drag an object from my inventory to the ground, I've resed it out. So you can res an item. I have a whole list of like random phrases on my blog. So if you go to milavanderbilt.com, at the top, there's it says Second Life glossary. Yeah, sim is short for simulator. Let me pull it up really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. And also, if you guys have more ideas of phrases that we use a lot, because it was really hard to think of like what I use a lot because we're just so used to speaking like this. But I often find when I'm talking about things in videos that people are like, wait, what does that mean? So if you go to my blog, milavanderbilt.com, Second Life 101, there is the Second Life glossary. And scroll all the way down. Granted, I have like my 101 videos. I haven't updated that in a long time. I have a Discord link. If you need specific help, do not IM me. I'm probably not going to respond. You're going to get mad about it. But join Discord. We have a lot of help channels and a lot of people that are willing to help. There's also people that have businesses. So like I encourage people with makeover businesses to go up to the landing at Bayside and drop them there. Because I always direct people that ask me anything to the Bayside landing. And I say, hire one of those businesses to make your avatar over. So this is just the glossary. It has a bunch of things like FPS I didn't know about till I came to Second Life. I never played a game before Second Life, so I just didn't know. So yeah, if y'all can think of more words, drop them in the comments and I'll add them. But yeah, we speak a whole different language in Second Life that I never even thought about. Let me get my chat back. I had to close it for a second. I'm not patient enough to be a teacher. But like, you know, what I used to do in real life, I used to teach people things, but not in like in a conference type setting, or like in a like TED Talk type setting. So if they had questions, I have to answer. Oh yeah. So if people, thank you, Spazzy. Actually, let's talk about all these like cultural things and nuances. One thing I forgot to show you guys though is how to voice with people. So you see down here this little icon on the bottom. Let me see if you can see that. It's kind of lighting up. That looks like a little microphone. You have to click this little like box to check it off. That'll enable your voice. And if you want to actually start speaking to people on voice, you click that. And now remember, if you do it from here, you're in local voice chat. So anyone can hear you. And it's not just people in range. It could be anyone that cams you closely, unless you're on a separate parcel. But anyone could cam over and voice you. You can also call people directly from their IMs. So there's a little phone button here. If I click that, it'll call her and then we can have a voice conversation. Now what Spazzy is talking about, a lot of people ask if you're voice or cam verified. Linden Labs is not getting on voice or camera with people to verify what their gender is. It's not a thing. A lot of clubs do it. The Monarchy doesn't do it. We leave that to the client and the girl themselves. If, you know, a client wants to verify something before paying, we have different things that they can do to verify. But yeah, ain't nobody from Second Life confirming that you're a woman. So you might see it on profiles like voice verified by who? So a lot of people randomly say that, and it makes no sense to a lot of us. What are some other like random things that you guys come across? Also, I think in terms of just general SL etiquette, remember there are both public and private spaces in SL. Usually if you come across a house of some sort, that's probably someone's house and they probably live there. A lot of times they have security on, but you know, when I first joined Second Life, probably for like a first couple of years, I was just breaking into people's houses all the time and like setting up camp. Like I lived there. But just remember, like anything that looks public, like right now, I think it's clear that I live in this apartment. If you were to come in this apartment, it's my space. I'll probably kick you out. Just be conscious of that. And if people ask you to leave somewhere, just, you know, leave. But then there's a lot of public spaces, so check that out. I also want to talk about, yeah, a lot of clubs verify, but a lot of people that don't even work at clubs be having that in their profile. And it's like, what are you talking about? Who verified you? Oh yeah, and that's also sketchy. So if you see someone that says official voice and cam whatever, they don't work for Linden Labs. There's no one that works for Linden Labs walking around Second Life verifying. So be very cautious of someone who is trying to get you on voice or cam and claiming that they're an official like verifier. Speaking of which, be very cautious of personal info. I know I talk about this so much, but I think it took a really eye-opening experience for me that happened last year, that there are just fucked up people in Second Life, and you don't want to give any personal information about yourself, and you don't want to like ask too much of other people. So I think, you know, through conversation, you're going to find out what people are comfortable with. So for me, if someone like starts a conversation with me and asks me where I'm from, that's very uncomfortable for me. And I'll very likely say, I'm not going to tell you. And that could offend some people. So I think you really just need to have a general conversation before assuming anyone wants to, you know, give you any information about their life. Like I don't tell people, well, I mean, I tell y'all on YouTube now, so it's different. But I want to tell people where I was from. If people ask me where I was from, I would look at the sim I'm on and I would say that. So like if someone asked me where I was from right now, I would say Avant-Garde. I've never told anyone my name. No one in this damn game knows my name. I usually don't tell my age. I don't tell anything that could identify me. And I recommend that, honestly. But if you're comfortable with that, you know, just be cautious on, especially when it comes to where you live, or anything that could identify your area. I've seen people get really excited about connecting with people from their towns, but you have to remember, you don't know everyone's intentions. Don't jump into it and let them know. Like I remember some girl at the club one time was talking to a client about the fact they live in the same city, and she was identifying all these places that she goes to often, and it's just not safe. And I'm gonna say it's not safe because I have been on the end of someone who did show up in my space. And this was before I was being very cautious in Second Life. This was, you know, I clicked a phishing link and they were trying very hard. And it was someone I was already rejecting in Second Life. And they weren't dangerous and they weren't trying to be dangerous, but they were really violating boundaries in my privacy. And, you know, it could have been very different if they were ill-intended, but, you know, they were really just trying to get my attention. I made some mistakes and they were able to find out where I was. So be careful, and be careful of, like, remember, you may blindly share things about yourself at different points in your relationship, but like think about it holistically. Like, how much information are you really giving this person? And could they use this to access your account? Could they use this to find you? Just be very cautious of personal information, and also just don't ask too much of other people, because it's very uncomfortable for people who don't want to share it. And just realize everyone in Second Life regards Second Life very differently. Some people, their whole Second Life is role play, so they're a character. Some people, this is, you know, just an extension of their real life. So, you know, it's gonna be different. Exactly, Chanel. Where you from? My mama. You guys, that was a lot. That was a lot. We are at 2 hours. Yeah, girl, he was Joe, but he wasn't dangerous like Joe. He was very innocent and like was just trying to get my attention. And I'm just like, hell no. I called the police. Get out of here. Not in the mood. And then I moved. And then I got mugged while moving. I feel like that's a whole story time I gotta tell you all about. But you guys, that was a lot of information. I hope it helps. I'm going to continuously try to add this type of information to my blog. I've already added the Second Life glossary. I have a lot of my Second Life 101 videos links. Of course, check this playlist if you need specific things. I have a lot in here on skins, shapes, animations, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to check those out if you need help. And again, if you are just someone who likes a guided, you know, experience, you need someone to help you personally, it's not me. Join us on Discord. I have a link below in the description. Join the Discord. We have Second Life help channels and a lot of really helpful people with a lot of knowledge. I never claim to be the expert in this. I'm just like sharing my experience, but a lot of people know a lot more than I do, and they're there to help you. So be sure. Joe did fake innocent. Girl, I don't know what this man was up to. But be sure to join the Discord. Ask for whatever help you need. If you really just need someone to take you around to stores, people do that. But yeah, join Discord. I feel like I should try to figure out how to get my camera back on so I can say goodbye. Me and this camera. It's because I was on stream for an hour, or I was on stream on Discord for an hour before I came here. And my camera's like, girl, you thought. But I did my makeup and everything, and we can't even see it. I'm like, I was not camera ready all day. Let me see. I'm sorry that I'm just over here experimenting with y'all. I'm gonna get a new camera. I found out the one I wanted. It's not a Nikon. We tried. All right. Ooh. We've been sweating. All over my face. Okay, y'all. But that's all I have. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this is helpful again once this processes. I'll go to the video and find out timestamps so you can find exactly what you're looking for. Reference back if you need to. The blog entries are a work in progress. There's a lot to write and there's a lot to link. So that might take me all year. I don't know. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, please, and subscribe, and your little bell check thing notification. I will see you guys on Friday. I actually have an upload for you on Friday, where we talk about a lot of SL things. And of course, I'll be back live stream on Sunday at 11 a.m. So, gosh, damn it, me and this echo. Do I have to say that again? I can't tell if you can hear me through the echo. I'm sorry, y'all. I will learn. I will learn one day. But yeah, thank you. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this and you like content like this. Subscribe, bell. Oh no. I don't know where that Joe is now. Oh, who's Joe now? I don't know. Whoever that. But yeah, join Discord. I'll see you guys Friday. I have another video with, you know, some Second Life tea, and Sunday for a live stream. But you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and bye. Slowly start to fade, and the days move so
slow